this is Anne-Marie from Alma Surfside. I have an Etsy shop where I sell handmade beach and surf-inspired jewelry. And I also have a YouTube channel where I do beading tutorials, especially bead weaving projects. So first of all, I just want to welcome you guys back and thank you so much for keeping up with my tutorials. And thanks for subscribing as well. I got some new subscribers with my last video, so I'm really pleased with that. And if you haven't already subscribed, please take a minute to do that. It just means that you'll be able to keep up with my latest designs and be able to create more and more for yourself. So today's project is a rectangular shape. And it kind of looks like, I don't know, a marshmallow or pillow shape to me. So I've used pale pink for the inside of the rectangle, hot pink for the outside, and then the corners are white. So you'll need 3 different colors of 8/0 seed beads. And for the closure, I've used 15/0 seed beads. Okay, that's just for the closure. And you don't have to use 15/0s, it's just I prefer to use smaller beads for the closure. I just find it's a more elegant finish. Okay. So what I have on my beading mat in front of me is Fireline, and that's 6-pound Fireline, and it's in crystal. 6-pound is 0.006, and that's the one that I always use. I just find it's small enough to get through small beads, and yet it has enough weight to give shape to the necklace. So otherwise you could use wildfire or nylon thread, it's up to you. And what I have right beside my Fireline are 8/0 seed beads, and here's the tube. So these are by Toho, and they're periwinkle opaque. The next beads I have on my mat are lilac. I don't have the tag, unfortunately, but I believe these are from Mayuki. Okay, and these have more of a luster finish. And the next beads that you see there on my mat are 8/0s, and these are opaque white luster. Okay, and then lastly we have 15/0 opaque white luster beads, and again those are just for the closure. Okay, so if you don't have 15/0s, you could always use 11s or 10s or you know, whatever you have on hand. You'll also need 2 jump rings, okay, for the closure, and a lobster claw. Okay, that's what I use to finish off each necklace. In terms of tools, flat nose pliers just to work with the jump rings, and you'll need scissors to cut your thread. Okay. Okay, and then you'll also need a beading needle, and I always start off with an arm's length worth of thread, and then when you run out you can tie on more, okay, as you work through your project. So for today's tutorial, what I'll be going over is 3 of the segments, okay, the first 3. And because it's a repetitive pattern all the way throughout the necklace, you'll be able to carry on your own. And then when you're finished your necklace, you can come back to the tutorial, and then I'll go over the closure at the very end, okay? Okay, so let me put aside that necklace, and we'll get started. Okay, so I have my beading needle attached to my thread, and I'm going to start off the project by picking up 2 of the periwinkle beads, and I'm going to push them down on my thread. Okay, and you're going to insert your needle into the very first bead that you put on. So both of your beads should be sitting side by side. You're just going to reinforce that by going down the bead on the right and going up the bead on the left. Okay, so you can see that the thread is going through twice. That's what we're going to do throughout the necklace, is basically reinforce each pair of beads sitting side by side. Okay, So now I want you to go down the bead on the right, pull your thread, okay, and then you're ready for a new bead. So I'm going to pick up another periwinkle. I'm going to go down the one on the left and pull so that they're sitting side by side. Okay, so you should have 3 in a row now, and reinforce that by going up the one on the right and down the one on the left. Okay, so that's what you're starting off with. And now I'm ready to embellish the outside. So I'm going to pick up one of my lilac beads, this one here, and I'm going to go down the one on the right. Okay, so it's sitting on the outside. Pick up another lilac, go down the bead on the left, this one here, and pull, pick up another lilac. I'm coming out of the bead that's in the middle there, and I'm going to go up the one on the far left, okay, coming out of the bead on the far left now, I'm going to pick up another lilac and go down the center periwinkle bead right there. Okay, so everything looks a little bit wonky right now, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is put my needle through the bead here on the bottom right. I'm going to go through the periwinkle bead, rotate, go through the bead on the far right, the periwinkle, and finally go up through the lilacs on the far right. Okay, so that's the inside of our rectangle. Okay, everything's straightened out now. And I'm just going to finish that rectangle by picking up one of my luster white 8/0 beads, going through the periwinkle there at the top. Okay, I'm coming out right here. I'm going to pick up another white bead, and I'm going to go down the 2 purple beads, or lilac beads I should say, on the top. There we go. So now I have 2 points there at the bottom of my shape. I'm going to pick up another white bead, go through the center periwinkle bead, and I need one more white to finish off the last corner. Okay, so that's what you should have so far. Go through the 2 lilacs, and there we go. Okay, so that's our first rectangular shape. What you can do is insert your needle through the periwinkle bead that's sitting there in the center. Okay, you don't need to go through the outside bead because it'll just help it sit on the outside and sort of have an angle to it. Okay, there we go. So we're finished the first segment, and now I'm going to attach 4 of the periwinkle beads. So I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bead that's sitting there at the top. Okay, now they're sitting side by side. I'm going to reinforce it by going down the one on the right and going up the one on the left. There we go. Okay, go down the one that you just added on, pick up another periwinkle, and repeat. Okay, so the idea is that we want all of our beads sitting side by side. Up and down and back up. Okay, so now we have 2 and I need a total of 4. So repeat, go up the previous one, pull so that they're sitting side by side. Okay, I'm going to go down to reinforce and back up. Okay, so that's what you should have. You should have 3 now, and then I'm going to add the last one in this row. So pick up another periwinkle, go down the previous one, go up the new bead, go down, and go up. Okay, so you should have 4 beads sitting there side by side, and that's what you want. Okay, and then we're going to embellish the outside of that line that's running through the necklace. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to pick up a lilac. I'm going to go down the center bead, pick up another lilac, go up the 3rd bead there, okay, the 3rd from the top, pick up another lilac, go down the center bead right there, and one more lilac, and go up the final bead in that row. Okay, right there. Okay, so those are sitting on the outside and we just want to straighten them out. So to do that, we're going to go up the lilac beads with our thread. Okay, that's just going to make it sit a lot straighter. Go through the 3rd periwinkle bead to get to the other side. Go up the lilacs that are sitting there on the right. Okay, so now we've straightened our shape out. And all we have to do now is do the corners of that rectangle. So I've picked up a white bead. I'm going to go through the center bead there, sitting at the top of my row. Pick up another white. Rotate your shape if it's easier. Go down 2 of the lilacs. Pick up another white, go through the purple bead that's sitting there at the bottom, and one last corner to fill in with a white bead. Okay, so that's what you should have so far. And remember, you can skip the white bead that's on the outer corner, just because it'll make it have more of an angle if you skip it. Okay, so try to get your needle through that last periwinkle bead. Okay, so that's what you should have. It's a very easy technique once you get the hang of it. Basically, you just have a straight row going all the way through your necklace. And then you're embellishing the outside of that row with obviously the lilac and the white. Okay, so it's pretty easy. Let's do that one more time. Go through the opposite side of the previous periwinkle bead. Okay, now they're sitting side by side. I'm going to reinforce it by going down the new one and up the previous one. There we go. Okay, go down the new bead that you just added. I'm going to pick up another periwinkle, go through the opposite side so that they're sitting side by side, reinforce that. Okay, go through the new bead. So how many do I have there? I have 2 and I need a total of 4. There we go. And I need 1 more periwinkle for that row. So pick it up, go down the previous bead, go up the new bead, and down and up. Okay, so that's my row, and now I'm ready to embellish the outside. So I'm going to pick up one of the lilac beads, go down the bead in the center, pick up another lilac, go up the 3rd bead, okay, so those are sitting a little bit off kilter, so we need to straighten them out. To do that, I'm going to go down the 2 beads sitting on the right. I'm going to go through the 3rd bead to get to the opposite side, and then go up the 2 lilacs on the far right. There. Now they're sitting more flush against the line that's continuously going through the necklace. Okay. To finish off the corners, I'm going to pick up one of my white beads, go through the center periwinkle, pick up another white, go through the lilacs, another white, and go through the 3rd bead. Oops. And one more white, and I'm going to go down the 2 lilacs, okay, and remember, skip the outside white bead and go down the periwinkle bead. Okay, so we finished all 3 segments, and that's what you're going to continue to do for the remainder of the necklace. It's a pretty basic design, so you just have one continuous line of periwinkle beads, and the connector is just another periwinkle bead. And surprisingly, the necklace does have a lot of flex. I was wondering, you know, when I initially designed it, whether or not it would work well around the neck, if it would have a lot of bend in it. And luckily it does, even though it's just one bead connecting each segment. So this could be made into earrings or a bracelet. Those are some other options just to keep in mind. And yeah, so I hope it was easy enough to follow. And we're going to go over the closure. So I want you to get your 15-0 beads ready, and I'll go over how to get a circle done, and then how to include the jump rings and the lobster claw. Okay, so to do the closure, I've done it on this side here of the necklace that I was working on previously. And so after the rectangle shape, I've added one size 8 seed bead, and then I've done the loop around that additional seed bead, okay? So I am coming out of the bottom of the center bead there in my final rectangle. I'm going to pick up an additional size 8 bead, and I'm going to go through the opposite side. Okay, so the same technique that you've been using all along. Okay, go up the one on the right, go down the one on the left, and up again. Okay, so those are now sitting side by side. And I'm going to pick up a total of 7 of my 15 O beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 4 and 3, 7. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the extra bead that I've added on. Okay, so see how that creates a circle? And then I'm just going to reinforce it by going through all of the beads that I just added on. Okay, if you want to do that again, you can go ahead and do that. I think I'm okay with going through it twice. And then you can just go down some of the beads that are in the rectangle itself. Okay, and then tie it off. Okay, so basically go on the inside of your shape, go through the loop, and create a knot. Okay, and I'm going to go through, let's see, I'll go through the inside bead there, the one that's sitting in the center of the rectangle, and I'll create another knot going through the opposite side. Okay, so I'm happy that it's secure, and I could just cut off my excess thread. Okay, get rid of my needle and my scissors. I'm going to pick up my flat nose pliers and pick up a jump ring. And I'm going to insert it through the loop that I just created. Close it up. Okay, and then for the other side, I'm going to pick up a jump ring, open it up. I'm going to attach my lobster claw, and I'm going to insert it through the other loop, and then close it up. Okay, so that's how you finish a necklace of this type. Okay, so you have your 2 jump rings, and you have your lobster claw in the center, and that's what makes it into a necklace. So I hope that you guys had a great time doing this very easy project. I think it's a really cute shape, and I love the fact that I used 8/0 seed beads. I think it makes it really playful, and the two-tone theme is really nice as well. I love the pink, and I think I'm pretty happy with how the purple's turning out too. So play around with different color combinations, and I think this is a classic rectangular necklace that you can wear for many years to come. So thanks so much for watching, and please take a minute to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Okay, bye for now.